What a time to be alive where rappers got to talk about comedians for clout.
God bless, dude.
Like, we are up right now.
God bless.
The biggest story about the album, outside of the album and people enjoying it, was a sub at a comedian? Yeah. And you don't even got to say my name and it still makes headlines?
It's crazy.
You're welcome. You are what? How many views did I give him, you think? I would make love to him and there's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. I need you like this. I need 5 but I need it to be like 2.
All right.
Yes. This is sit down. Be humble.
When it comes to the top 250 free speech warriors, none of them are more sensitive than Joe Rogan and his crew of ass kissers. We've seen Brendan Schaub rage crying over a 6-word tweet from Nate Diaz. Rogan himself recently went on an unhinged rant about how dragons probably did exist after Joy Behar called him a dragon believer. Bert Kreischer started crying after he found out that people on Reddit were making bets on how much longer he has left before he dies of a heart attack. Tom Segura complained to his wife on YMH recently after he got roasted for shaving his beard in the comment section, and Tony Hinchcliffe uploaded a 35-minute set from the mothership onto X, trying to explain the intricacies of Puerto Rico's landfill problem. But now our boy Andrew Schulz has joined the ranks of the top 250 coping comedians on the latest episode of Flagrant after Kendrick Lamar referenced a joke he made on his podcast about black women.
Listen, rappers are telling comedians we need to be more respectful to women, so we gotta sit back and reflect.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're the most pious group.
Listen, nobody has respected women more. Through art.
Yes.
Than rappers, okay?
Absolutely.
So I completely understand how a rapper could look at a comedian telling a joke and be like, yo, y'all need to switch that shit up.
Yeah.
How dare y'all keep saying your wives are annoying? Be more like us and, ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. I beat my with a stick. What? You can lick on the nuts or suck the dick. I beat my with a stick. What?
Did you just think of that?
That's a real lyric.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a real lyric from music that protects women.
As usual with the elite comedy assassins, they start off being funny, then it starts to get a little bit cringy, followed by bucket loads of copium. However, Andy and the Toy Story boys took it to a whole new level, where it went from cringe to just being straight up fucking weird. Schultzy really is a strange dude. He's got some demons behind those eyes. But to start off with, I'm going to give you the full context behind this whole situation, because it goes back a few episodes to when the British podcasters from Shits and Gigs went on Flagrant. Just before we get into that, remember to check out the link in the description below to my Patreon, where you'll find all my uncensored longer form content. I just dropped a video the other day reviewing Tony Hinchcliffe's Twitter special, so go and check that out if you're interested. It's also a great way to support the channel. Now, as for Schultzy and his band of squealing hyenas, this is how it all started.
Wait, what is the black girlfriend effect? This is
you don't know
You
about
just
this?
glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, clean shape up. Glows up, bro.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the time. That's why they got to shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
They grow a beard
they step
because
their dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the out. That's hilarious. I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective.
Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We love them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yo, who gets?
That is what.
Hey, let me get a translation.
Kendrick fans, get him!
We love them all.
Yeah,
man.
that's royal English for white.
So this ended up being a strange situation where the guests weren't the ones who made the joke, it was clearly Andrew Schulz, but they were the ones who ended up apologizing for laughing at what he was saying. We've seen Shane Gillis take a hit for mocking Asians on his own podcast a few years ago without any guests, and Joe Rogan was forced to make a hostage-style apology video after the N-word compilation resurfaced. But I do think it was pretty cringy to see these two apologize for laughing at a joke in the moment on a podcast that's known for talking absolute dog shit. And everyone's got a different opinion on whether Schulz's take on the black girlfriend effect was funny, which is kind of like the response to Tony Hinchcliffe's trash joke. But the thing I think people are forgetting is that this is the type of material that the Rogan Six are famous for. Low-hanging, divisive, and offensive one-liners that appeal to the lowest common denominator. That's how you murder these days. Now, you guys know my view on that kind of material. If you don't like it, then don't watch it. And if enough people don't like it, then eventually they'll have to come up with new material and raise the bar. But for the most part, Schulz and his green room brethren are still selling out venues around the world, so I'd say they're not going to change their tune anytime soon. So Schulz and his boy band used the apology video to mock their former guests and reinforce just how much they don't give a fuck about offending people.
Any listeners here that are upset at us, we just want to let you know that you're going to stay upset. Okay? What we're not going to do is sit here with our tucked between our legs, apologizing on the podcast for jokes. Okay? Matter of fact, we have a new apology video that we should definitely watch. And I want it. Al, stop laughing, dude. They're defending their community. They came on the podcast. They got a lot of flack for laughing at a joke. And I would just want to hear their apology. These are serious guys. And this is a serious apology. Al. Al. No, can you take it seriously?
All right, serious.
Okay.
Right, before we get into today's episode, quick PSA, quick acknowledgement. So, if you know, you know. If you don't, that's fine. But we just wanted to address something that's happening at the minute. This past weekend, there's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. There were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women. And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke. I'm not even going to get into specifics. Frankly, like racist joke. And we were laughing at it. And to give, first of all, before we get into like specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. Fight or flight is a real thing. Like it is, fight or flight is a real thing, and it's so not easy to say, but when you're in the situations, you look at it through a lens of like, bro, if it was me, I promise you I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down, I'll smack homeboy in the face, I would say this, I'll do that. But when you're in there, you're in shock.
You're in shock, and all you want to do is move on.
Pause.
Move on is the fuck.
I've been there. I know what that's like. When you're just having fun and laughing with the boys and you're like, I just can't wait to move on from this. Don't you know that feeling when you experience the fight or flight and then you just laugh? Does that happen to you guys when your body is just being torn with the primal urge to either fight or flight and instead you just go, ha ha ha? Do you guys ever have that feeling?
I feel like you're making an excuse for jokes.
I would never.
That sounds like what you're doing.
Hey, I would never excuse taking two things that have nothing to do with one another and then bring them together to make your friends laugh. I would never excuse that, Mark.
Yeah, like I said, that apology was cringe as fuck, and it went on and on and on. I only just clipped up those bits to give you the gist of what happened because I want to focus on Schulz's response to the lyrics in Kendrick's new song. But I will say the way Andrew and his butt buddies carry on as if they're the gatekeepers of free speech and offensive comedy is just as cringe as the apology. Now, let's get into the Kendrick beef because in one of the songs on his new album, Schulz got called out for talking shit about black women, and so the cope started.
All right, let's see the exact line, okay? Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman, that's law. Now, technically speaking, if we're going off of grammatic English, he's saying, I can talk about black women, and that is law.
Don't let no white comedian talk about no black women.
So he's basically saying all white comedians
are only allowed to
talk about black women.
Exclusively.
That's what I'm talking about, Kendrick. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a law.
Finally, he understands
it's a law.
Now I understand why he's doing a comedy with the South Park creators.
That makes sense.
Because he appreciates white comedians that make fun of black people.
There you go.
And they've done that brilliantly for decades.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would never want to, break one of his own laws.
No, that's true.
I mean, didn't they have a character called Token Jukin on the South Park show?
Yeah, they do.
Which I'm sure Kendrick is a big fan of.
That's true.
He must be a big fan if
true.
he's going to do a comedy with them. I mean, we can look that up. Apparently, he has a comedy coming out.
So Schultz's whole angle was to try and point out Kendrick's hypocrisy for trying to stand up for black women by pointing out all his own friends and collaborators who have a bad track record with women. I mean, it's 2024 and we've got a rapper and a comedian arguing over the moral high ground. That definitely was not on my bingo card for 2024. And as you can imagine, the comment section was divided, with a bunch of Kendrick's fans flooding the comments shitting on Schulz, mixed with Schultz's fangirls defending him. But the top comment was the funniest. Drake watching this laying on his stomach, kicking his feet in the air. Probably Tony Hinchcliffe as well. There's also a theory that Schulz is pushing to get Drake on the Flagrant podcast, and that's why he went so hard on Kendrick. Now, we've seen some professional level glazing from the likes of Joe Rogan with basically anyone from Hollywood. The Rock was the worst by far. And we saw even just this week how Burt Kreischer gave Dax Shepard a spit and polish. But if Drake went on Flagrant, that would be a whole new level of glaze worship. I fucking hope it happens. And so the longer their cope session went on, the cringier it got as they employed such comedic devices as sarcasm, misdirection, and irony to portray Kendrick as a woke hypocrite. Imagine Andrew Schulz roasting someone for being a hypocrite.
Here's what you gotta understand about Kendrick. It's very important to him to protect black women. That's why he's never done a song with an abuser confirmed. He's never done a song with anybody that's suspected of abuse. He's never threatened to remove his music from Spotify because they removed R. Kelly's music, who for sure and held captive underage black women.
Hold on.
This is all very important to Kendrick.
Wait a minute, just let me understand what's going on here, because I think that you're using sarcasm as a comedic device.
It is a comedic device.
But you're so smart right now that I don't know if you're serious or making jokes. Are you saying that Kendrick Lamar put it on wax that he is protecting black women from white comedians' jokes, but not the kidnapping, molestation, and of R. Kelly? And actually, in reality, he would take his own music off Spotify to protect R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Someone who's kidnapped,
a sexual
molested,
predator,
and black women?
Oof, children.
Are you saying that he's done songs with other men who have potentially put hands on black women?
Not potentially, confirmed.
Wait a minute, convicted?
Yeah, I don't know what you call Chris Brown, but yeah, whatever that is.
Not breezy. Not breezy. I took a picture with Chris Brown. Hey, bro, I took a picture with him immediately.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
We ain't protecting nobody. Y'all can protect your f***ing selves.
Everybody gets these jokes over here.
Okay, that was definitely scripted. But what happened next, I'm not so sure. I don't really know how to explain this, but shit got weird. Somewhere along the way, Andrew Schulz developed an overinflated opinion of his own physical abilities because he did a few rounds of interval training on the pads with his personal trainer.
You see him hit pads?
Let's not get carried away.
Don't get carried away. He can hit pads. Bro.
I've seen him hit pads. Yeah, I'm not going to
you up.
Don't say that out loud.
He will
because now I'm going to have to fight him, and I love him so much.
He's going to you up. I love him too.
You're out of your mind.
He's gonna you up.
You're out of your mind.
He's going to pop you with that jab.
Him. Nope. You're going to get me
riled up. He's going to move like a real athlete, and you're going to panic.
I love Andrew.
Give me some volume.
Andrew's an athlete and stuff like that, but you better stop it right now.
Shut the fuck up.
He can play basketball.
I'm seeing Brian Callen getting boxed up.
You're
right
out of
now.
your f***ing mind. You're out of your
boxed
mind.
Up.
You're out of your mind, but I love him.
You're getting boxed up.
You're getting me really riled up.
He's going to box you up.
He's got good reach, though. He's a big kid.
You up. He's not hitting the miss very hard, but he's going to hit you hard.
Andrew Schulz has that clip saved on his phone for whenever he's having a bad day. He pulls it out and bites his lip as he watches it, just as a little reminder that he's a problem for any of his haters that want to fuck around and find out. And now that Kendrick's a certified hater himself, Schulz wants to fuck him and find out.
First of all, Kendrick's people and the gang affiliate, everybody, his security, they will kill me. They will destroy me. They'll find me in the street. They'll and cut me up, they'll shoot, they'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy, y'all would do. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him, and there's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. If it's me and Kendrick, this is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that if we're in a cell and we're bored and we done tattooing each other, whatever you do in the cell, and we ran out of board games and we did all the other things, we cleaned everything, and I'm like, man, I might as well f you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that besides put his legs in the air and choose a position. Maybe I'll let him choose a position.
Why are you pulling this picture up, Mark? Why are you doing this?
Put up that picture of him and Travis Kelce's girl. Look at that shit.
Oh my God, dude, that's unbelievable.
Don't get me wrong. There's people who could me against my will. I was in an elevator once with this drag queen, and this motherfucker was like 6'5".
Oh, yeah.
And we're in the elevator, and we're going down. I'm like, yo, if he wanted to take it, I got to cause a ruckus or something like that. Like, I got to shit my pants. I got to do something. I got to do something to stop. He might enjoy that. I have no clue what they're into, but I know with Kendrick that he's talking a lot of shit, but if it came down to it, I could put him on my lap. I could feed him a bottle. I could put him on my lap. I could feed him a bottle and make love to him if I wanted to, and there's nothing he could do about it. I might not be hard. Dick might just slap soft against his butt.
But you could just beat him up. You don't have to f him, right?
No. We're not doing acts of physical violence over here, bro.
Okay.
That's what
This is an act of sweet love.
This is an act of love.
Oh, you're a pacifist.
I'm saying I could be romantic with him and there's nothing he could do about it, to the point, like, I think I'm so charming he would just fall into it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I think he would just be so charmed. He would be like, damn, like, whap, 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 whap. Let me suck it up. The only thing he could do is, after I was finished, like, write some words that rhyme together about it.
Oh, that
you know
album
what I
would
mean?
be fire.
Like,
that would be a good album.
Oh my God.
He can make some calls. Yeah, you want to talk about another album called Damn. Be humble. Sit down. Reincarnated. Ask I penetrated. Listen, but in all seriousness, we love Kendrick Lamar, our woke king. And I think we're gonna do our best to abide by his. I don't know what his rules are about, like, me having sex with him if we're in a room together.
I don't think you'd want that.
We don't know.
Okay, Schulz just straight up ripped off that Key and Peele sketch about Mike Tyson. Andrew Schulz finally found someone he could physically bully, a 5'6" rapper, but I'm not gonna lie, it's kinda sus. We've all speculated over the years that all the nipple tweaking, leg grabbing, and arm squeezing was kinda zesty, not to mention the chronic leg crossing on display from Andrew and his side piece Akash. So this was a kind of weird angle for Schulz to take, and he really leaned into it. I mean, you could tell that he really thought about this. It wasn't just some off-the-cuff remark or one-liner. Schulz went hard.
I'm going to make a commitment right now that if Kendrick wants to squabble up, I'm tongue kissing him.
Why? You don't have to do that. What the hell? What? I was like, you're married. What the
Reincarnated. What voice should I make him singing? What song should I make? But listen, if we're in a jail cell,
you're gonna pull your back out, having to duck that low.
Listen, if we're in a jail cell, low key, if we're in a jail cell, right? and we're making sweet love, you know? Because there's nothing he could do about it.
I like that you're making it consensual sweet love. Can I say that?
No, it's consensual sweet love. Because at a certain point in time, you realize there's nothing he's a pillow.
Yeah.
Why are you in a jail cell for this?
No, but I could use him as a pillow. That's what I could do. I could be like, yo, look, put your thighs at the end of my bed. I'm gonna rest my head on it while I go sleep. And there's nothing he could do about it.
Oh my God.
His people could absolutely destroy me. I'm not a tough guy. But Kendrick, it could be I would use him as a whole body pillow. So I'd say lay there rigor mortis, but I'm gonna put like your legs in between my legs. Do you know how like pregnant women sleep?
Like a waifu. That's your wife.
He's my waifu.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Only white comedians can make this joke, bro.
I don't even know if we can, bro.
This is a new law.
Yeah, you should have said that. White comedians don't joke about me in the ass. Like, I would have put that in the song. Excuse me?
I said I'd make him hold his thighs together tight. Make a little pussy out of that. Not put my dick where he doo-doos, Mark. That's disgusting.
That's gay
Make
also.
a little thigh pussy for me.
Yeah.
Squeeze it tight. I need you like this. I need thigh But I meant to be like, two.
All right.
Yes. This is sit down. Be humble.
We know that guys like Andrew Schulz and Tony Hinchcliffe are prolific joke writers and provide their services for other comedians, so it wouldn't surprise me if the two of them collaborated on this one. I mean, this has got Hinchcliffe written all over it, especially that thigh-squeezing thing he was talking about at the end there. That's definitely Tony. But once they all ran out of ammunition, they started to get a little bit more serious about everything, and this is where the hypocrisy started. Like I said at the beginning, never underestimate a fragile comic's ability to contradict themselves in the worst way possible.
He's going to have some bars for you in the Super Bowl, watch. He's going to have some bars for you.
I mean, the irony that he's like, we need to protect women, and he's performing at the Super Bowl, which is literally the Super Bowl of beating the shit out of women, guys. This is the problem. Is like when you're on your way up, nobody looks at your hypocrisy because they want you to be on the throne so bad. Like naturally, human beings, we all have this. Like we look at the number 2 and we're like, I see myself in you. Go out there, go get it. Once you're on the throne, all we see is hypocrisy. Anytime the person is in power, and clearly Kendrick is number 1 right now. Anytime he's out there, we're looking back at what he's done and we're like, oh, you're this woke guy, but then you really do people that are completely inconsistent with what you say you care about. Maybe you're just using this as an identity to feed your narcissism, and you can't just go out there and be a complete narcissist, so you're gonna masquerade as an altruist, someone who protects the community, but you only do it when it benefits you, when you put out an album. Like, where's all this love for black women when Kamala was running for president?
Okay, hang on a minute. So Schulz is accusing Kendrick of using this as an identity to feed his narcissism because he's only protecting the community when it benefits him because he's putting out an album. Remember the last time Schulz put out a comedy special and made up that story about how he got screwed over by a streaming service that he refused to name because they asked him to take out a few jokes and edit his finished product? At that moment, Andrew became a beacon for free speech. But as usual, the grift took over and he ended up waving the American flag in the name of anti-censorship and convinced his fans that buying his special from his website was an act of defiance against the tyranny of woke Hollywood who were trying to silence him. As it turned out, though, he ended up releasing the special straight to YouTube after a few weeks behind the paywall, after promising his fans they'd have the paid link forever. So for Schulz to sit there with a straight face and accuse Kendrick of race baiting his audience because he's got a new album out is another fine example of the pot calling the kettle black. What a dickhead. Anyway, make sure you go and check out the link in the description to my Patreon if you're interested in my longer form uncensored content. While you're here though, hit the subscribe button and make sure you give me a thumbs up if you ended up liking this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.
Y'all be doing foreplay. Y'all be warming up the mud. It's wet already. Stop making jokes. Stop trying to have fun with the boys. Al, you're trying to have fun with the boys.
I'm thankful for you guys, bro.